Let's go ahead and bring on Coach Haydock. Coach Haydock, how you doing? I can't hear you there, Coach. Can you hear us? Make sure your mic's not turned off.
Oh, what about now?
There you go. I can hear you now.
Hey,
We're going to do
I'm still watching VH videos of games. So,
You got those betas out there trying
a. Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming on, and I know it was a tough week, but I guess the one question I have for you, how do you feel overall where you're at in terms of the program development? Because nothing in the world of football is called a quick fix. So how do you kind of feel now that you kind of got a little bit of the foundation laid, but you're adding to that?
well, I think we're getting better every year. And when I took the job, I knew it's going to be very difficult to compete in the SAC because I was in the SAC for 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we had some great Harding teams, but we only won the SAC one time. And before this season started, I felt like there was five of teams in the SAC that were probably better than anybody in our sectional, and I knew they would be tough to beat, and that has been proven true. We still got 3 games left, and we're still facing great opponents. I mean, we haven't played Carroll yet, so I look at it as we're improving at the lower levels. We're improving each week. We just can't judge ourselves, and this is the thing I try to stress to our players.
Correct.
You can't judge yourself off, like, for example, Snyder. I mean, you take away 2 kickoff returns, and I know that's part of the game, but that's a rarity. We don't usually allow those. And well, we should have kicked to the same kid, and our kicker just, I don't think, understands what I'm trying to explain. Well, he's a soccer player, and he's a great kicker, and he thinks he should be able to kick it deep every time because he kicks it inside the 5 or in the end zone, and it still got to their number 3, even when we kicked it on the ground. But, they got 14 points off that, and then they had we haven't had pick 6 for a while, and we threw a pick 6 on a terrible decision by our quarterback. So we gave them 21 points. Now, granted, we wouldn't have beat them no matter what. They would probably picked up another 10 to 14 points anyway, but we might have picked up something. It's when you've been beat down a lot and it starts happening in the game, it's really difficult for this age group to understand what we're trying to tell them, that we can do this, we can do that, and whatever. So we're improving, and we already, this time last year we didn't have 2 wins. So we have 2 wins. We think we can win another, and we think definitely we can compete in the sectional.
Sure. Coach, of course, the headlines for Wayne High School football becomes Lamarian Nelson. I mean, just overall, talk about his impact on the program, particularly this season already. 427 yards and 6 touchdowns 2 weeks ago against Southside. 7 touchdowns, excuse me.
Well, we have to take our glory when we have it.
Yeah. Talk about, I mean, what he has meant to the program, and as far as him coming in, being part of the system. We talk about, the running backs that you're able to develop over time, just his impact on what you're trying to do at Wayne High School.
Well, when I came in, he was a sophomore, and a couple of coaches said, we think we got a freshman that I've three guys on my coaching staff coached with me earlier at Harding, and they go, we think we got a back that's a freshman. It's going to be a sophomore that kind of fits your type of back. And sure enough, he was. And the sophomore year, he got over 300, came on late in the year and did well. But we had a kid named Chris Thomas, and then he was well over 1,000. And then Sean Collins was the flex type player. But what he's done, Lamarian's done, is developed himself every year and realized I like the big back that can run. But he's totally natural. And what I mean by that is we haven't taught him anything. When he makes cuts and does that right there, a straight arm and takes off. And We haven't taught him that. We just work his tail end off in practice. I hate to say how many tires he's flipped and how many things he's pulled, but I tell our running backs that to be our one back, you have to break a lot of tackles and actually carry the ball a lot and not fumble. And he does a good job of that.
Sure. Talk about too, like, what for him to come in and what he's been able to do. The reaction to the other kids as far as working harder and things like that. Just how does he pull this program along and trying to get this Wayne team where you'd like to be ultimately as time goes on?
Well, first of all, the kids don't think he works harder. So I always have to explain to them at any time, because I'll have him doing something else and they'll look down and the running back coach will have his helmet off and all that stuff. But I go, anybody wants to trade places with him, you can do all that because when a back's a senior and has played for me and has carried the ball, he does not get the ball a lot of times in practice. He's already had all those repetitions in the sophomore and junior year, so I don't want to beat him up more in practice because we're pretty physical in practice and we go full gear, the full amount you can do, and we hit a lot. And not as much as I'd like because the state changed their rules. But so the first thing is they don't think that, and then they realize that, maybe I wouldn't want to be doing that and things like that. It's always receivers that complain, always Adonis are like, I go, well, he can go over and catch passes and you can go flip tires and see what happens. Mm-hmm. But what he means to us is, well, he's a good kid, first of all, and he's very quiet. If you don't ask him a question, you won't hear his voice. Very quiet. And that's good when he's getting all this press right now. And he's not the kind that's bragging about it and talking it up. And that's a big thing in Fort Wayne. Kids talk things up a lot. They yappity yap a lot. And in the sack, it's really bad on each other. Not mean, just like, I'm better than you, you're trash and all that. And he does not do anything like that. He just gets the ball and runs. And the only problem he's ever gave me is he was beat up at the end of Northside game, and I still had him in because I thought we could get another score. And he really wanted out of the game. And I didn't like that, and he didn't like the point I kept him in. So, I'm trying to teach these guys that no matter what score is, you still play the game. It's a 48-minute game. You only got 9 of them. You're a senior. Don't even want to come out ever. And I think, unfortunately, we're still at this stage where it still might be a club or something like that for these kids. Not everything I say. The biggest difference is when I came back to Wayne and was gone 9 years of Woodland, and then everybody says, "Well, now you're back in the sack," and Wayne has to be like Hardy, and I go, "It's not even close. It's not the same." And they go, "How?" I go, "Well, first of all, anything I said at any school I've been at, if I said something, it was gospel. And here it seems like I have to explain too much, and that gets tiring. I just finally say you have to do it. It's like when your parents go, because I said so. So I'm like their parents now because I said so. And, they don't have a great sense of history. I try to tell them, I've been to state 3 times and I've taken trash and made it treasure. And this can happen here too. And they want it, but I don't think they necessarily realize all the things they have to do to get it.
Well, Coach, I know that you got Concordia coming up, and we want to wish you the best of luck going forward this year. And we keep an eye on the Generals. Of course, one of the reasons is that Generals have a little bit of a piece of my heart because my father coached there for a number of years back in the 70s and 80s and such. So best of luck the rest of the year. You got a phenomenal kid in Nelson. He's, a tremendous athlete and running back. And, I know you're gearing up not only for the latter part of the year here, but also for the tournament. So Good luck to you.
Yeah. One thing we've always told our kids is you have to always look towards the playoffs because our conference is way too strong.
Mhm.
And I know a lot of people can say that, but we're talking about, Snyder's a top 5A, and Carroll's a top 5, 6A, that kind of thing. So we think that all those schools that I talked about could come down to 4A and do big damage. I don't think anybody from the whole northern part of the state could beat Snyder in 4A. So it makes us realize, hey, we're going to be playing good competition, but it's not quite the same.
Correct.
So we're gearing ourselves up, and hopefully we can make a run of it and, play well in the sectionals.
Well, good luck, Coach. We appreciate you jumping on here, and I'm sure you got plenty of work to do with not only schoolwork and on top of that, but game planning for the cadets. So good luck.
All right. Thank you very much.